Welcome, everybody, to another installment of the Inside the Nest podcast. And our summer reunion of the 2019-2020 team continues because we have a couple special guests here, Egor Sokolov and Kyle Havlena. Guys, you're back in Cape Breton. How's the weekend been so far for you?
It's been phenomenal. Yeah, it's always nice to be back. Catch up with a couple of the guys. We'll obviously celebrate a beautiful day of Derek and Kelsey. Yeah, had a blast. Just it's always fun to come back and just we sat down, me, Kyle, and Autumn McCormick. We sat down for about 9 hours yesterday and just laughed. It was incredible. Like I don't think I laughed that much in a while. So it's been fun and special.
Yeah, I agree. It sucks that we have to cut the trip a bit short. Wish we could stay here for a bit longer, but I'm really happy that we could come out here, like you said, celebrate Derek and Kelsey's special day. And yeah, seeing all the familiar faces that I don't get to see all the time, it's really special.
Have you been back since?
I came back the year after I played here. So I had my season with Gatineau, and then I came to visit with my girlfriend. And we made it a 5-day trip. We were able to, see the people, everybody that we wanted to see. Unfortunately, didn't get to the Cabot Trail, but...
Feel like a reunion at the wedding? You kind of hit on that, I guess, all the old players.
Oh, yeah. It felt like everybody was there.
Yeah, honestly, it felt like everybody was there, but it was like only 4 of us from that team. And then Balmus was there from prior years, right? So, but yeah, it was just way too much fun, honestly.
And guys from Charlottetown, too,
Yeah, I was
right?
just going to ask, there were real fights at the wedding?
I
A lot of laughs.
I saw Hunter Drew, and we used to go at it a lot on the ice, but he's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, I told him he was one of the guys that I did not like playing against in the queue, so he knew it.
You just got to break the ice right away when you get there, eh?
Oh, yeah. It's always like that, somebody you're going at it on the ice, you go off the ice and you just start talking and you just feel like you're played with the guy for 10 years rather than playing against him. So it's usually what happens.
And is it like that when you're playing too? Like, do you feel like, you obviously have these rivalries on the ice, but when the minute you get off, does it stop, or is it a little weird maybe when you're still in season?
Yeah, definitely still weird in season. Once you go back, and it's 4 years ago that I played against him, you know what I mean? Like now it's just you're talking guy to guy, not player to player anymore. So you get to know them off the ice. And they're all really good dudes.
And I was looking through the pictures, too. Havy can give you a bit of a shutdown D presence. P.O. Joseph and Drew and Igor scoring goals. Gentile taking the face-offs. And Matt Welsh was there, so you got the goaltending covered. Looks like they might have an actual team going on there.
Oh, yeah, Matt Welsh. Yeah, I told him that I did not like him, too. He was making things hard scoring it on Charlottetown, but he told me that you were making really hard on me to play against you guys all the time. So, yeah, it's always fun to, you play against the guys, and we played against Charlottetown so many times, right? Always, and you just go out and just talk with them about but how it felt we played against each other and stuff. So it was cool.
If you didn't have any enemies going there, you did when you left. Letting everybody know that you don't like them, or you didn't like them.
We could say it now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I told Hunter right away. I said I didn't like you. I didn't like playing against you. I didn't like you.
But also probably vice versa, because I'm sure a lot of fans in PEI didn't like you either.
Oh yeah, but you're doing something right then if the fans don't like you on the other team.
Yeah. You just celebrated. You just had your own wedding as well a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
how was that?
It was unreal, man. Honestly, Kyle was in my bridal party, so we had a day. Just honestly, we had a day. I couldn't have when I was going into it, I was like, this is gonna be just great.
Yeah.
But it exceeded all the expectations that I had for the day. But it just went like this too. Somebody told me, my equipment manager in Belleville, we're super close. I'm super close with him. So he was at my wedding. He told me, you're just gonna blink your eye and the day's gonna be over. Yeah. And I was like, no, it was 11 o'clock. We got together, just start talking. Then we did a first look, then did ceremony, and then so the cocktail hour started. So 5:30, I'm like, oh, we got 7 hours to go. Perfect. Next thing you know, the last call, it's over. Right. So, but no, we had a blast. For me, I couldn't have imagined a more perfect wedding.
Where did you have it at? Was it at a hotel?
It was at the hotel, Park Hyatt downtown. Beautiful venue. Everything was just top notch. Her parents and her, I stayed away from the planning and stuff, right? I just
smart guy.
I was just she told me, you want this or you want this? I said, listen, for me, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
I'm just as long as you're happy, this is your day. Like I'm gonna be there with you celebrating it, but like I want you. You know, it's so different for girls. Right? Like the dress and all that kind of stuff. For me, it's like. You know, just how many drinks can I take today? So no, but we honestly had a blast. Like I'm still like looking back at it, like I'm missing that day. Like I want to relive that day again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there more Eagle alumni there besides Kyle?
There was Derek.
Derek was there as well.
Oh, yeah,
Derek
he was
made
there.
the
Honestly, like I was talking, it's so hard to invite people to the
Right.
wedding because like
Oh, yeah.
when you move on to the other teams, and like when I was in Belleville, so I kind of gave the invite to everybody, right? Like I had, so that's already 25 guys that I had to give an invite to, plus one. So that's 50 guys that possibly can come from me, right? And
Right.
so just looking back at it all, like obviously I would love. I was talking to Corky yesterday, and I told him like, man, I wish I actually like invited you, like because I was like, I looking back at it, like the guys on my team, like there was like 10 or 11 or 12 guys that they RSVP'd like a month before a wedding, and they said no. So then for me, it's like I'm not gonna call Cork a month before my wedding and say, hey, like one of the guys said he's not coming. You want to come to my wedding, right? Like, so it's tough part on numbers, and like you can't make everybody happy, but like I wish, like when I was looking back at it, I wish I gave a couple invites to junior boys rather than all my team, because like it's you want to give to everybody. You don't want to walk around the rink with the invites and like, okay, you're coming, but you're not coming. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what made things tough. But looking back at it, obviously, that would have been the only thing I want to change about it. Just get couple more boys from junior.
And it's easier to invite the guy next to you than the guy you maybe
Exactly.
haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough, like the numbers and everything, and you just like when you give an invite, you have an idea if you guys, if like what I had in my head, I was like, these guys are definitely gonna come, and that's what happened. And so I didn't waste the invites. Just like I knew the people won't come,
Right.
and I still gave the invites. But what if they said yes? So then it would have been a different story. So, but yeah, overall, I was just super happy. I mean, Kyle, I think he had a blast.
Yeah, I had a good time. It was really, it was a really good night for me because I got to see his parents as well, who I only met twice here. They made the trip down, which was really special. Unfortunately, his brother couldn't, but his parents made it down, and the mom was able to give a speech and everything, and it was a really special night. It was really special.
You guys are no strangers to reuniting with former Eagles players. Igor has some ties in the pros, but Kyle, that Concordia team, how many Cape Breton stories get told there? I remember we ran into you guys in the restaurant in Charlottetown. There's 8 former Eagles on the team at the time?
Yeah, I remember when we were on our way to Nationals in PEI, we made a stop in Moncton and we practiced there, and Bubs made the trip down and we took a picture of all of the former Screaming Eagles, and I think there was 12, 13, 14. I couldn't even be able to count and tell you all the names. There's so many. But over the 3 years that I've had, it started with Martineau, Tyler Hyland. Now they're off, but throughout there's Sean LaRochelle, a bunch of different names. A lot.
Now you're like these guys like La Rochelle are coming in, and you're asking them what's changed about Cape Breton since you played there.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're such a tight knit group because we 90% of the team played in this league, right? So we're able to talk about what teams did this and whatever. And honestly, they all agreed that year, that COVID year, it could have been ours. It really could have been ours, and they all agreed on that. They hated playing against us.
Yeah, so what was that like that year? Like, it must have been pretty defeating, I guess, getting it shut down.
Well, I don't know.
Right at the end of it.
How many games do we have left in the season?
4.
4, 3?
We had
And you already had 40 wins or something, I think.
we had 4 games left. I remember that. No, we had 5. I think we had 5.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to hit 50 goals so badly, and I was like,
Very close.
I was like, oh, I got 5 games left, and it was like 2 of them were against Batherson too, and they were not really good. So I was like, I'm just hitting it, and then boom, and then I'm like, we're gonna win it all. Like when we were like looking back at it, man, it was just like.
It was defeating for sure.
Yeah.
After Christmas, we went on a tear. We went on a run.
Yeah, weren't we like 26, like 4-3 or something? It was something ridiculous.
There were a lot of losses in the second half.
It was something ridiculous. Like it was just like we would come to the rink and just like go out there and play and win every game. Like no matter who came in town. Like they had what's called Rimouski was one of the big ones when the Lafreniere rolled in, and everybody's like, yeah, this Lafreniere, he comes in here. We beat them 4-2 or something, and he just like. He wasn't even on the ice pretty much. Like it just felt like we didn't give him a breathing room.
Nobody could beat you.
Yeah. And that's when we made the statement on just like we beat Rimouski that game, and then we had a game against Moncton, because that was only 4 teams. Like I thought it was like us, Chicoutimi, Moncton, and Rimouski were the
Sherbrooke.
4 teams that and Sherbrooke
Yeah.
that were really good, and we just made a statement beating both those teams. So it was just special. I feel that's looking back at it, I'm just like still so sad that we couldn't like see what
could've
we could have
played out.
done.
It
Right.
was
Like-
initially it was go home for 2 weeks and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Clearly that didn't work
No,
out, but we
no.
kind of knew I was packing, going home, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
season
like
was
in the
done.
head, back of my mind, I was like 2 weeks and we were back right for playoffs. Like it don't playoffs. We were gonna play playoffs. We were gonna no. I remember just like a couple days later seeing all the restrictions keep going and keep going. I was like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah. And you never even came back ever, did you? After that?
no,
Yeah, that
we
was
stayed
your last
home.
time?
We were stuck in
But
the
like
house.
you never came back
As
to
a
Cape
20
Breton
'cause you didn't get to
Or I
play
guess
here.
neither. Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Right.
I was done. I really wanted to come back. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I really wanted to come back and finish here, but I was traded to Gatineau, and it was a tough season though. The next year was a tough season. Whether I was here or in Gatineau, it was tough for every player.
Under Louis.
Under Louis,
Louis.
exactly.
Yeah.
Under Louis, it was let's just say it was a different year. It was a different year. We were going from 2 weeks of practices, then a week in a hotel, bubbles. But even when we were practicing, it was rink, school, go home.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
only allowed to go home. Couldn't do nothing. So for me, wanting to go out, we used to go to the movies all the time.
Right.
Go get, what was it, Thursday night Don Cherry's, 2 pounds for 1 pound. You know what I mean? Like we always had something at night.
Yeah.
And then that's one of the things that I love the most about junior was just after practices and after school, you got all these boys 5-minute drive away from you. And
Yeah, nothing to do.
It's Don's Ultimate.
Don's Ultimate. That's the best.
More partial to the barbecue.
Cheapy
but Don's
Tuesdays,
Ultimate is also
everything.
good.
When was the you were talking about a Rimouski game earlier? You guys came back.
Yeah, we had, I think, Pat, you could
Yeah,
probably
it was over
correct me.
4,000 and
It was a
Baker
sold out.
won all the
building.
games.
Was it the
Lafreniere was
regular
on a tear, like
Just
a
Lafreniere's
point streak.
first game back here.
It was,
since
this actually was the last time you would have played here.
Yeah, it would have been.
Regular
All the
season.
hype
He was
Yeah.
coming out 'cause he was,
he was like pushing for like the record for a point streak.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
Most games in a row with a point, and that was Jarrett Baker and I's job was to shut him down every time he hopped on. We'd hop on,
Yeah.
and took care of business. I think finished -2, no points. -3, no points.
Oh yeah.
Someone else in the room had 2 goals that night.
I had 2 and 1 that night.
Probably 2 awful celebrations too.
Unbelievable. Oh, buddy. That was
Depends who you ask though, because that's what Kevin Mendelise was talking about your celebrations. What goes into it? Do you think about them before? Or is it just all?
No, I
Emotion.
feel like I have too much passion for the game. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I just scored a goal. Like that's what I love doing. Why would I hold back? What am I gonna just like put a sad face on and get back to the bench? I just scored. Like what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's no passion for the game. I'm a pretty exciting player. Like
Yeah.
they call me so.
Is that a Russian thing too?
I think a lot of Russians have some crazy sellies.
I
Yeah,
think so, yeah.
I looking back at it, there's a couple that I shouldn't have done. They just look dumb. You know what I mean? So, but there's a couple that I loved. The salute was special.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Well, even just this year, right? Because he was talking about it in Laval.
Yeah.
Kind of we're getting out of the
Ooh.
skin of
So
the fans in
sometimes
Laval.
it's like working up the opposing crowd as opposed
Yeah.
to getting your own crowd
Yeah.
going.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, to be all fairness, like that time when we played against Laval, and
This is this year with Belleville.
this is this year in Belleville, and we didn't get like the whole year was like because Belleville is like a small community as well, and like there was nights where there was not a lot of people in standings, and then once they saw like we were pushing for playoff spots, the attendance grew up like, and we had that game against Laval, and it was like one of the best like crowds we've had in how many years? I played 3 years in Belleville, and that was one of the best. So, and that's where I was like, I was just feeding off of it. You know what I mean? And so we needed to, like I was telling you before, I'm gonna tell the fans, we needed to get 1 point out of two games, and Laval had to beat us both games in regular to get in the playoffs, and we played the first game at home, and I remember just saying like, if we don't get it done tonight, we're done. Like we're not winning tomorrow because they have 12,000 people there, and the crowd grows crazy.
Right.
Like you build any momentum, and they get a big hit or something, and the fans go into it, and it's just over. Yeah. So then, it just worked out the way it was crazy. Like we were down 2-1, 5 minutes left, got on a power play. Coach goes, we put 5 forwards on the power play. Never done it. Whole year, never done it. Like we did 5-on-3. When we get 5-on-3, we had 5 forwards, but power play 5-on-4, never. He goes, 5 forwards. And I look at him, I said, what do you mean 5 forwards? It's like, what are you trying to do out here? He's like, well, we were going to do exactly what we're doing in 5-on-3. And Josh Curry, that the guy, you know Curry.
Yeah.
So he was playing with me, and we had our plan, like, where he just skates up a little bit. We both kind of do a loop. And he passed me across and then one-time that. And then the coach telling me, you're going to get the one-timer, so be ready. And sure enough, like 12 seconds into a power play, boom, one-timer, bar down. Yeah, I went a little
This
crazy.
much space, eh?
Oh, yeah, I went crazy. Because I knew if it's a tie game, we're pretty much up 1 because they
Right.
needed a
Yeah,
rigor. So, and then with like 2 minutes left, they pulled a goalie, and I got the empty netter. So we avoided the overtime and everything. And then, yeah, I don't think a lot of people from Laval like me. I was lucky enough to not play the next game. I'll tell you that for free.
And what was the celly like after the empty netter?
I honestly just skated all the way.
Didn't
like,
know what to do. He had no
Yeah.
idea what to do.
I just I had like nothing I wanted to do. I just skated full, sort of like straight down the ice, just like kind of pumped up the fence, went straight to the bench because I don't, like Kyle was saying, people didn't realize that I had enough time to put the puck in because it was like literally like when I scored it was like 0.2 left on the clock. So, and I knew in my head like we knew that if we get the point we're fine. Like we don't need to win in a regulation.
Yeah.
But I was like, why would we want to go to overtime and play a 5-minute hockey game? Like, like why would we want to do? Like, let's just finish it right here.
Finish it, right.
So it's probably the hardest I skated my whole career to get that puck in the corner to put it in the net. Yeah, and then I just kind of like skated around, and I just felt like people thought that I disrespected like Laval and stuff. Like a lot of people thought like I didn't skate by their bench. I didn't go at. I was firing up my own crowd. You know what I mean? Those people from Laval, you came to to our building. Like, you know what I mean? You're fans and not like you're not at home here, right? So like I just kind of did my own thing, and it was just special to see like people just fired up and stuff. And I had a post game interview where I dropped a couple F-bombs, and I was like. Ooh, there's like about 150 kids there, and I just went on a big jumbo trunk, and I just like said, yeah. So
What was the game you were talking about when you said he scored on this end and he came all the way back and
Oh
the
God,
cellies in-
there's just multiple. There's multiple. But all I remember is Charlottetown. We played against Charlottetown first round in 20. It was the last year of the Screaming Eagles.
Right.
So it would have been 2019.
2018, 2019.
Yeah, exactly. So
Me
we
and
were
Hunter Drew and Matt Welsh.
Yeah.
Those guys we were just talking about.
pretty sure it was game 5. Or are we finishing?
No, game 6.
Yeah.
Game 6.
Won
It was
game
at
5
home.
in Charlottetown to steal
Overtime.
always.
He walks down, power play, right side, finds the short side, and we scored on this side, and we ended up celebrating on the other side. He found a way across
I
the
went
ice.
I went heartbreaker.
Yeah, a heartbreaker, and then he just started
And I had a
celebrating
and
in
I
his
had a- I
own
had a-
corner, pumping up the crowd when everybody else was in the other corner.
I had a cage on that time too.
Did
That's
you?
right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I got
What a visual.
what was it? Game 2 or 3 when we won 1-0. Remember that game?
Yeah, it was game 3 to
when
get the
I
first win of the series.
Yeah, I was standing I was on the blue line. No, like my D got the puck. I think it was Cormier, and he took a slap shot straight in my face, like right here. So I had to go off the ice. My teeth, like pretty much were like out of my mouth. They put a cage on me, and that cage looked terrible too. And then I remember I scored in that game, and we won 1-0. I came back with the cage on, and I scored a goal, just a lone
Sounds
goal. Yeah.
See, it's good that like as he leaves, Cam Squires comes in because there couldn't be. You can't have a team with 2 guys that celebrate that
This
big.
is
I
true.
think.
I want to know how many times did Kyle hit the reset button on the bench during that series?
Holy cow. Yeah, that series was up and down, up and down, up and down. I remember, what was it? I think it was game 3, first one in Charlottetown. They had won. And then we
Double
found.
OT to start the series.
Yes, true. You're right. But it was an up and down series, and we talk about the best memories that we had here, and that was definitely one of them. It was the only series I won as a Screaming Eagle and Eagle, so it was very special.
Now, you both had interesting stories coming to Cape Breton. Obviously, everybody knows Egor came over from Russia, but Kyle, would be interesting for you because you're playing for your hometown team with the Armada. What's it like to be, hey, you're playing with your hometown team, and now you're traded to the furthest place away in the league?
Yeah, I remember that day like it was yesterday. There was a rumor going around where Batherson was coming to Blainville, from Cape Breton. And me on the Armada team, I played more games as a forward than a defenseman. Like we were really stacked, and So when I heard about Batherson coming to Blainville, I didn't even think twice. I was like, there's no chance I'm part of this deal. There's no chance. And then it was the first practice back after New Year's. I think it was January 2nd or 3rd. I showed up early. I was in the stands taping my sticks. No one was there yet, but I was just in the stands taping my sticks. Guys started to roll in. I came down. Everybody was like silent. Nobody was talking. And there was, whenever you walked into the room, you had to put your phone in the bucket. So I didn't have my phone. So everybody was a bit silent. And then whispering when they were near me. And then I was like, what's up? Like, what's happening? Why is it so down in here?
Right.
They're like,
Before
well,
practice or a game? You said?
before practice.
Okay.
Practice. And then everybody, they said, well, there's a rumor where it's you, LaFrance, Miller, and a draft pick going to Cape Breton. I was like, there's no way. And I went to go check my phone, whatever, and I had ex-coaches saying, good luck in Cape Breton. I got 7 missed calls from my mom. What the heck is this? What is this? So at that point, I opened up my phone. I look up, and then Dan Jacob, the assistant coach, is like, Kyle, come into the office. And at that point, I knew I was getting shipped off. But lo and behold, I was here for 2.5 years, and honestly, like the best 2.5 years of my life, for sure. For sure.
Wow.
It was when I was going into the draft, I told my mom, I was like, I don't, it's not like I want to go to Blainville because I'm at home. I was like, I want to go to whatever team wants me.
Yeah.
And if it's away from home, I get to live it out, you know?
Yeah.
And I was at home, but thankfully I got to, when I came here, one of the biggest advantages was grade 12. I did not want to go through CJEP, to be honest, in my case, because it would have been a longer route too.
Yeah.
So I got to do grade 12, go right to university. There's many, many more pros than cons coming here, for sure. I had an opportunity to play. Number one. So.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
The CJEP. And you, I assume you grew up speaking English too. Did you have?
Yeah, I grew up
you have
speaking
good
English. I went to school in French. Like, I'm completely bilingual, but I grew up speaking English at home.
So what was that like for you, Igor? Because obviously, probably, I'm gonna assume a lot bigger step from Russia to Canada than Quebec to Nova Scotia.
I couldn't speak any English.
I remember seeing a member too, and I couldn't even like say hi to him.
I couldn't even say hi. Like, it was just that bad. Like, I could not say a word. Like, for first 5 months, like, if people want to talk to me, it was like this. Here, translator. And they're just in my face.
Google Translate?
Yeah, oh yeah. Because it was tough. It was a big adjustment for sure, but I think we just had such a good group as a guys. Like, the older guys were great and kind of just, make me feel comfortable. And as the year went on, I started understanding a lot more. Like, I started understanding, like, but I was like shy, maybe talk and make mistakes, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want people look at me like, what did he just try to say, right? But I had a English teacher here too, Cameron
Clark.
Yeah, Cameron Clark was there. Yeah, so I had classes with him twice a week, and like, it's tough because he don't speak any Russian, right? Like, he's
Right.
So I was pretty much like in grade 1 with the book, and it like had like pictures of things like, table and stuff, and it just said what it was. So that's kind of how I was learning the words, let's say. And then as everything went on and on and on, I just, start picking up, like, start talking, having a little conversation. And then by the end of the year, I was like 100% talking to everybody, no problem. Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh yeah.
Kyle could judge. You came in halfway through his first year. Where would you grade Igor's English?
Awful.
Your arrival in Cape Breton.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
So that was already 4 months in.
Yeah.
And
it was Mando that had to pick him up, and I had flown here. I didn't have my car, so it was Mando and I were living at the same billet, and then we had to pick up Iggy every day, go to the rink, and then we'd have to bring him back. So we were like the one that talked to him the most, I guess.
Right.
And it was tough at the beginning.
So did you know any French as well? Did you learn any? You were just juggling English, I guess.
Yeah, I was so lucky that I got drafted by Cape Breton, not any French team.
I was gonna say, because then at least it's like there's other people kind of also learning English as well.
Well, yeah, and it's just the community is in English. Like, I had a couple of my buddies that went to Rimouski and stuff. Like, they can't even watch a movie in English.
Wow.
There's like one night in the whole week there's an English movie goes on. Like, his whole French.
Garoni? Would that be?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I honestly like that. But that time, by the end of the year, I was like, no problem. Like, you couldn't stop talking then.
You don't really have a choice, I guess, either, eh?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, usually guys, when they come over, sometimes they get another Russian, let's say, like, somebody that already been here is Russian.
Mm-hmm.
Me, it was Leon Jelenki, German guy, so he wasn't helping me, so. But usually, like, I know a couple of times, like, where, guys come over and they have already like the guy from Russia playing here, right? And it just makes things easier, I guess. If he's
Yeah.
there.
At least you got somebody there,
But
yeah.
it also makes things tougher because it's not forcing you to learn English. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was lucky enough there was no Russians here that it would force me to try to learn as quick as I can so I can have conversations with guys, because like we're on the bus for 7 hours and I'm just sitting there in my headphones the whole time, right? Like it sucked at the start, but made it work. And then look at me now I just can't stop talking. I think
Tell me about it.
Yeah, Kyle, when you started your junior career, did you ever envision that you'd end up standing in a wedding for a Russian guy?
Never. Even when I met him, never. But we grew into each other, really, because it started with picking him up and then dropping him off, and then it turned into a serious friendship. I mean, now it's like we talk throughout the season. I know what he's doing. He knows what I'm doing. Every time he comes to Laval, my brother and I were always at the games.
Nice.
For every game he's in Laval, we're there. You get to see him after, so we always keep in touch. Always.
There was a couple of fan questions, and that was one of them. Was who was your closest teammate when you're here? Would it be each other, or what some other names that stick out?
I think because of our last season and how tight knit we were, it'd be so hard. It'd be so hard to say. Obviously, us we're close, and you know what? I guess I take pride in being close to him and being able to affect him when he was here. Because I know as much as he says it was, oh yeah, Russia, whatever, we're good. It was tough on him, and so I take pride in that. I was really close with Gents, obviously. The reason why we're here, right?
Yeah.
He was amazing as well. He was amazing, and him. It was I had Balmus here as well, but Gents was like the guy to bring us all together. Like, you guys want to do something tonight? I'll figure something out. We'll do something.
I think Mando said that too, did he not?
Yeah, no, you guys think that helps too, like with Gentile and Balmus, like having local guys that kind of show you the ropes of the city?
Well, not even that, but like I go to the wedding yesterday, and it's like you notice now that he got me in contact with his neighbors, and now we know them like by their first name type of thing, and we could have a full-on conversation. He knows what's happening with me. I know what's happening with him. His Uncle Bill, Uncle Bill. He goes to every one of Gents' games, and then I tell him, well, I'm gonna be in Halifax in September in a preseason game playing against Gents. He's like, I'm gonna be there for sure.
Now, actually, am I remembering we had that trip to Montreal? Was it your family that housed a bunch of players when we had that break? It sounded like that was
it was me, Iggy, it was Cork, McCormick, Gentile, and Tyler Heinem.
it was
Yeah. Well, we got out to a Habs game. And
Against
Gents was in cloud nine because he never gets to go to Habs games. And we had a good time. Not much sleep, but we had a good time.
Yeah, we had a too good of a time. It's every time, but I think that last year you can't even pick nobody. Like I wouldn't be like, okay, this was my closest friend and stuff. We were just so close. Like, it was crazy. Yeah,
those are probably the best teams too, I'd imagine too.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. It just made things a lot easier. Like, we were going on the ice and we were talking about it. Like, every single guy on our team knew what they're supposed to do to win us the games.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So like, starting to have like, he knows that he's gonna be shutting down the best players on the other team whole night. You know what I mean? So, and I just thought every single guy on the team knew what was the identity of the single guy, and it just made things just like this. Like, we were just clicking. We were just winning everything. Yeah.
We were tight where, like, McCormick and I, for example, just because I saw him yesterday, for example, we don't text each other that much throughout the season. But we see him yesterday, and it's like we text every day. Right. And nothing's changed. And it's like we saw each other last week type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, we were so close, and that we'd have that with anybody on the team.
And there's only so many guys you can keep up with too, because you're playing on many teams, right? Like, you have 20 of your own teammates now, right?
Right. And just that team, so accomplished. So many guys are in so many different places.
Yeah.
It's tough to keep track of them. But I should shout out, though, I mentioned Kyle's family putting up all the players. Havlena, great hospitality, because they put me up, and Kyle drove me to the airport in the morning.
Yeah.
Very
You had you slept over, huh?
Yeah, I did.
You had a big layover in Montreal.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
They're great hosts.
A couple other fans submitted questions here. People are wondering what your favorite pizza in Sydney.
Kenny's.
Yeah, Kenny's. We'll go with that. I don't remember.
He just ate whatever was in front of him. He doesn't know. He has no idea.
Well, there's always that debate, the Napoli, Kenny's.
Napoli, Kenny's.
Oh, yeah.
They might be one of our bigger sponsors, Kenny's. So good answer. I'm not sure. Not keeping track of that.
That's right. Yeah. Matt, Anthony was telling a story earlier about him taping your stick.
Oh yeah, it was in Victoriaville.
Oh, yes.
I don't remember why did I ask him. I probably didn't score for one game and I was overthinking it. Probably because I was that year I just wanted to score every single game. So it might have been a game or two where I didn't have a point or a goal or something, and I said, "Ange, how about you tape my tick?" I scored 3 in the first.
No way.
Oh yeah, first period.
That's why he brought it up.
I literally did. I took 3 shots on it and all 3 went in. Like so, it was nuts.
That was the Russian game because Abramov had a hat trick for Victor.
Yeah, that was.
that
I remember
game.
that was one of the worst games we played as a team.
That game.
We
yeah.
were like up like whatever 4-1 or 5-1 or something. And they almost came back. We like the game ended up being like 5-4.
I think.
Yeah, and like I think what's it called? Grimard made a crazy save there at the end of the game. It was like, no way we're gonna lose this game, right?
Yeah.
We were up 5-1. So
Do you guys have like many games that stick out as like memorable games? You kind of mentioned that one before.
Yeah,
for
like
Lewski, but-
you're talking about this, and I
The
don't
St. John
remember.
game at the beginning of the year.
I don't remember much, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Played.
A
Well,
lot
I
of
think
games.
I actually played 199 games in junior.
Couldn't
but
get that.
I wouldn't be able to tell you a game like that, but there are some that really stick out. Like first game at home with the rebranding. So like being the Cape Breton Eagles, everything is new. Down by 5 goals and then decide to come back and win it in regulation.
Frick.
That
I
was
don't
definitely
know.
up there.
I don't know if it was regulation or
It was.
overtime.
We looked
It
up.
was.
Regulation?
There was
No way.
and a half
Yeah.
left.
Wow.
Would you?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
We had Irwin in the stands. We had a basically almost sold out crowd. It was amazing. I had my parents there as well.
You were down 5-0 and you won 6-5
Yeah.
in regulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
We
were
were
insane.
after
I think it was
se-
5-1
5
after
after second. We scored 5 in the third
2. Yeah.
to win the game.
Frick.
Yeah.
Did
That's
you
pretty
guys
memorable.
notice many differences? Like, because you were both here for the rebrand. How
Yeah.
different was that last season?
It was refreshing. It was refreshing not only for the players, but for the whole community. You felt it, like it's just a new buzz around town, and I think it was the best thing ever, to be honest. The Screaming Eagles came 1997. 1997. So it was about 20 years, give or take, a bit over 20 years. It was time for a change like this.
Yeah.
Definitely time for a change like this.
And from an outside perspective, looking at the playoff run this year and kind of seeing that and then
Yeah.
another kind of buzz, what was that like? Kind of seeing it from a fan perspective.
Unreal. We were seeing videos, and the stands were packed. And 2 years ago, we couldn't find a way to get 1,000 people here. You know what I mean? So to see everybody come in and jump in on all the success that they had this year was really fun.
Now, it was quite the celebration, too, when Irwin bought the team. This was before you were working here. It was a big staff party at Montana's. Who had more at the buffet that night? That's all you can
Oh,
eat.
God. Probably me. No, yeah, Iggy was big. Iggy was big. Iggy definitely made a few trips, for sure.
No, buddy. Yeah, I was huge. Yeah, I was huge.
It was only after his juniors where he figured out,
No, my 19 year was all right. I was
Yeah,
a bit-
yeah,
I was
yeah,
a
you're
bit-
right.
yeah.
You're right.
was
But then he
all right.
realized, I need to get drafted. I also need to get 30 pounds, lose 30 pounds to do
No,
that.
not 30. It was like
25.
10, it was like 15. Max.
25.
15 max.
You mentioned when you came here, obviously it was a big step for both of you. But when coming from Russia, what were some of the biggest differences you noticed? Just I guess from a hockey world.
From a hockey world, I mean, just the game was so different. Like the junior here and junior back home is like 2 different things. Like
Yeah.
it was so fast. Like even I remember playing preseason, it was so fast already at that time, and I was like, what, how hard is it gonna get when this regular season starts?
Yeah.
Just a lot more hitting, a lot more shots, like a lot more action. If you know what I mean. Like a lot of kids growing up, like in Russia, like you get so much time with the puck there. Like you play and you just carry it around as much as you can. As long as like you can have a puck on your stick for 20 seconds and nobody's gonna touch you. Here is like, okay, you gotta make a decision in 3 or you're getting hammered. So
Yeah. And is it? I'm assuming you're using regulation ice in Quebec, or is it Olympic?
In Russia, you
in Russia we
Olympics.
used to Olympics, but most of the teams are now even KHL, like they're going to Canadian.
They're just phasing it
yeah.
out now.
Oh yeah, most of the teams. Yeah, a lot of I think a lot of teams were just like finished the Finland one.
Oh, it's like
it's in
90
between. It's in between between Olympic and Canadian. So
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And what about from like a cultural stance? Was there anything that was different?
yeah, I feel like just people were a lot more friendly. You know what I mean? That's what I noticed right away. Like everybody's saying hello all the time. Like you're walking around the street and it's like you don't know who these people are. I'm not used to people asking me how I'm doing every morning that I don't even know. So that was the biggest. Just people in, I would say, besides that, like rather than learning new language, like everything kind of was pretty similar. Like when my parents were just here a couple of weeks ago for my wedding, they said like it's not that different, the culture. Just like they said, one thing is people are a lot more friendlier, but like from the culture perspective, like everything's kind of similar to back home.
Yeah.
Well, here you wear the Eagles logo around here, everybody will know. Whereas Blainville, you wear an Armada logo, it's not the same.
Right.
The same.
Well, also I was gonna ask that. Like even in Russia, is junior hockey? Is there like a market for that? Like, do they have actual fan bases for these teams?
Well, so how it works in Russia, like if you play junior, you're already attached to VHL and KHL. So you sign a freeway deal. Once you're 16, you sign 17. You sign a 3-year deal, and it's a freeway deal. So each team junior, like let's say Cape Breton here, we're not attached to any pro teams, right?
Right.
But MHL back home is you sign with a team, and you play in the system. So as a 17-year-old, you can get called up to KHL if you're dominant. You know what I mean? So you're like always in the system. So it would have been like, let's say, Cape Breton was the MHL team of Belleville and Ottawa. So you would just sign with Cape Breton. You're gonna sign a freeway deal with Ottawa, and you would play junior or AHL or KHL pretty much. So
okay. So it's almost like the East Coast in a way. Like it sounds like this.
Is but it was junior. It's
it's
yeah.
Third
You only 16 to 20.
Yeah.
Like same thing as there. Rules are the same.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine that here. Like we're in the middle of a good season, and Igor's lighting it up. Yeah, I think we got a good chance to the cup, and then he gets called up.
Yeah, like that's how it.
That sucks.
That's how like they don't try to rush kids up.
Right.
I would say like if you're pretty dominant, like there's couple guys who are like, they're 18 and then like they get a chance in KHL, like Mitchkov and all those guys, right? Like they started in MHL, and next thing you know, you look at the stats, they had 27 goals in 20 games. What else he's got to do here? So that I think that's a kind of like a different thing. So you just like you sign a deal and you're developing in the system. Like you're not gonna go anywhere else unless you get traded.
Right.
So you kind of just start there and keep going up.
Right. You mentioned the difference like in Blainville in terms of like you said like wearing the logo. Like can you explain that?
Well, I'll tell you about the first 5 minutes that I landed in Cape Breton. I landed in Cape Breton. I had no idea where I was sleeping that night, but I knew what I was in for when I went to the washroom. As soon as I landed, I got out the plane, went straight to the washroom. I'm at the urinal. The guy next to me goes to the next urinal, and he's like, so what do you think about the trade? I was like, there's no way he knows that I'm the one that was traded. Like, how do you know? I was like, good.
That's incredible.
And then he said, yeah, I know you're Kyle. Like, you're happy about it? I was like, I don't know. Like, I was in like a culture shock because you wouldn't have gotten that in Blainville. I mean, Blainville, you got the Montreal Canadiens, you got the Laval Rocket, you got a bunch of universities. So like, especially when Laval came in, I think Blainville's attendance went down a good amount. But I'm part of the hockey industry, so I know about Blainville and whatever. But a regular person in Blainville, they don't all know about the Armada. Whereas here, it's like if you don't know Cape Breton Eagles, you're kind of living under a rock.
Yes. We don't really have a whole lot else.
Yeah, you're the top dog here. And you, too, Kyle, had to make a decision at source because you were a pretty good baseball player when you were younger, too. Was that a possible path for you?
It was. I mean, I stopped when I was 14. Once, like, the overlap of spring hockey, I wanted to play spring hockey, but then it would overlap with baseball tryouts. I had to stop doing that, and I don't regret it at all. I think I still enjoy playing the game of baseball, but it was a bit too slow for me in a sense, where it's like, you'd spend 3 hours and you'd go up at bat 3-4 times. You'd be in the field, maybe get one ball. It just wasn't enough action for me. Still enjoy doing it. I'll go out the occasional time and be a call-up for my brother's team or something.
And drag Egor to some games in Toronto?
Yeah.
We went,
That's
actually.
not my sport, man.
A few years ago, we met up with Bubba Jen in Toronto, and he was already there, too. So we went to a Blue Jays game. That was your first baseball game?
Yeah. I went to one in Cleveland this year, too.
Yeah.
Cleveland, wow.
Cleveland was sick. That place is sick. Like, we were in playoffs against Cleveland.
Yeah.
And we got there Monday. We were not playing until Wednesday. And they have all the rink and a baseball, and it's all right there. So we were like, we may as well go watch a baseball game. So we went and watched it. So I don't like the sport.
Did you play anything else growing up besides hockey?
I played competitive table tennis when I was growing
Oh,
up.
go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
So 9 to 13, I played competitive.
That was his warm up and cool down before every practice.
That's
Oh,
sick.
yeah.
Oh, that's a big thing now,
I
man.
was gonna say they missed out. It's really
Yeah.
We didn't have that.
Oh yeah, we did.
We
Of
did?
course we did. Yeah, but we were. It
Didn't
was
they
with
take
the
it
old
down?
gym? The
Yeah,
old gym.
yeah, you
We
had
had
to-
it right here.
No, we had it right there. Right there. Remember the couches
I
were
don't remember.
up there. We were doing our meetings up there too. Do you remember we were
Oh,
doing
it
in
moved
yoga?
around. It moved around.
Yoga was there.
It moved around.
Yeah, so
Did either of you ever beat Nathan LaRose in a game of?
I did.
He
I
brought
did.
his own paddle. He had his own paddle.
I didn't. LaRose did.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
LaRose did.
But I did. I beat him. Me and him had a thing going. We were top dogs.
Yeah. Louis also has his own, so that could be why he was number 1 for a little while there.
Oh.
They had a ranking and everything this year.
Oh, yeah?
Board, yeah.
Were
That's
you
fun.
in
Still
the
be here
rankings?
somewhere. Oh no, I never.
I know Carter's
I never got
there
on.
too in the background. I'm not sure if he's in the rankings. I wasn't in the arena enough to be part
No,
of
I
it.
never got on. I was, I gotta. That's their thing,
Step
I
it up
guess.
this year.
Yeah,
This is
I
big.
played that for a while, like 4 years. I just kind of like
Is it a school thing or is it like
yeah, we were at school and my mom worked at school that I was going to,
Mhm.
and we had a part of the day was like a table tennis class, right? And I was like, okay, what is this gonna be? Like, got the paddle, and I was like, not bad. Like, first time holding it, and then my mom said, like, if you want to just go and play, like, it's gonna help you with hockey, like reaction time and everything, right? Like,
Yeah, probably.
So,
Definitely.
and then I just started playing. I played like in a lot of tournaments and stuff. It was all
Wow.
but then obviously I had to shut it down.
Yes.
You know, it was just a hobby.
Yeah.
So.
As he had to kind of think between baseball and hockey, you kind of had to think about.
There was no thinking. I played a lot of soccer too growing up because my best friend since we were like young, he was always a soccer player.
Yeah.
So we would always just play soccer, and when winter comes around, we'd play hockey. So
You call it soccer there? Is that what it? Like,
Oh.
I guess you'd have it Russian. You call it a Russian word, but
yeah, you call it football.
Soccer?
No, we call
it
it
is
football.
Okay,
Yeah, we call
I
it
was gonna
football.
say, I was thinking that we were the only ones over
No,
here.
Australia,
Soccer?
USA, yeah.
Oh well, I meant like North
but
America,
Australia-
and
New
I didn't realize
Zealand too,
Australia
probably,
did. Okay.
Because they would call it like their rugby would be football.
Oh, okay. I see. That makes sense, actually. Egor, a big thing that people, when they think of you as your time here, they think of that overtime goal, Game 6. What do you remember about that?
That I think we're still trying to figure out who scored that one.
Yeah, well, on the broadcast it said Fournier, so my apologies for not giving you the goal right away.
No,
I did correct it when it said
which one are we talking about?
the Game 6 against Charlottetown.
Fournier wasn't here already.
Oh, maybe it was somebody.
It was
else.
Boudria.
Yes,
Sean.
yes, right.
Both tall
Okay,
righties.
Fournier.
Yeah.
We-
Both
Fournier
tall
was at
righties.
27.
It was a power play, and I remember who was it? Somebody on the half wall passes the puck down low to me. Me and Boots we were standing in front of that. Two of us, two big guys.
Cork.
Cork, I think, might have passed me. And I pulled it around, and as I was pulling around Welsh, I shoot it, and I think Boots' stick was like right there as well. So I think we both like pushed the puck at the same time pretty much, and I just celebrated harder, and then that's why I got the goal.
Yeah, 'cause
But I didn't even realize that he told me like I scored, and I was like, "What do you mean? I had the puck on my stick and I shot it into the net." Like I was like, "Okay." And then we come back down, and Chucky, the goalie coach, he goes, "It's your goal." So I'll take it.
So second round? What
No,
was that?
first round.
round.
First
Yeah,
round.
down-
And Charlottetown.
Down 2-0 and won the next 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a double OT game in Game 1? Have you guys played in a game longer than that, or is that still your longest?
my
game?
Drummondville.
Oh,
my
you
first
were
year.
Yeah,
right, that's
Drummondville,
right,
our
you were
first
there for
year.
that game
My
too,
first year
yeah.
round. What was it? Three overtimes.
Late
Yeah.
in the third
Olivier
OT too.
Bourret, I think.
Yeah,
scored
Bourret scored.
Yeah.
in the third
After
OT.
we were saying he was scratched the first game and then came into the lineup to.
We had no snacks, but we had our post game meal, so we started having like I
Yeah.
forget what it was, spaghetti.
We
in the
had nothing
second
to eat.
OT.
Like there was nothing already.
Mando was saying there was like the burgers were so cold, like the grease
Yes.
was like legit, like
Yeah,
white,
literally.
thick.
Yeah, and
was
no
a
water
burger.
left on the bus.
Zero.
Like there was nothing
Holy
left.
frig.
Nothing left.
We were running out of everything. Like there was like we were just looking. I was like, dude, like, is this game ever gonna be over? Because like he wasn't even close. Like nobody was like getting close. Like that
Yeah.
game just was like in a neutral zone.
Probably gets to that point too where it's just everybody's
Yeah.
just so tired.
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's,
Oh, yeah.
there's no hope.
I mean, at that point, I was like, it was a big game, but at the same time, I was like, someone score.
Yeah.
Someone score.
You're not going to be
It's-
entirely disappointed if Drummondville scores.
Like,
Yeah, but at the
not
same
exactly.
time- And you remember the next day we're sharing a plane, and then the teams are supposed to be separated, but then Drummondville players got sent to the back because of the weight balance. I don't know if you guys got caught up in that.
Well, I remember that because I had, in that series, I had Morgan Adams-Moisin, like one of the biggest guys in the league, tried to come hit me, and I reversed him. And he actually, like, I don't know, ACL injury. And he hopped on the plane. I didn't even know. He just stared at me, stared me down. And I was like, because I was his teammate in Blainville.
Right.
I was his teammate in Blainville, and he went to Drummondville. And I think he had surgery on his knee because of that, if I'm not mistaken. But he did not like me on that plane ride.
That's like the worst thing you can possibly do. Put two teams who play in playoffs on the same
After a
plane.
triple overtime.
Yeah, like everybody hating each other.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, no, I don't want to see those guys until we go and play next game. Like I just, and
Just
it's,
keep your head down.
it gets chipping and stuff like and you just it's the last thing you want to do. It's being in the same plane with the team you just played 120 minutes against, just
Holy
battling hard.
frig.
So
Yeah, you've seen them enough.
And it's awkward because we get there first, and like you're just waiting for them to come.
Yeah,
play.
yeah. Yeah, they ran in that a couple times this year. Yeah. I guess, Chicoutimi and Baie-Comeau, they did that this year.
really,
Yeah. You have a hockey school.
I do, yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah,
How'd that start?
midway right now, actually. We're in our third week. We got about, my partner and I, Eric Arash, we got about 60 kids per week for 3 weeks long. It's fun. We play a lot of games with them. It's all kids that are part of our program. We have a few kids coming from Halifax. We got one from France,
Oh, wow.
some from the States coming down for it as well. It's a lot of kids that are already integrated in our spring program that we have as well. And it's fun. Everybody gets to come in. We have a good time. They get better. They're on the ice a ton every week. So
What's the age group?
we go by birth year. So 2018, we have 2018, and then we go up until 2012. So we kind of split it up into two.
Oh,
We got
that young,
about 30
okay.
kids on the ice per hour.
Right.
And that's how we do it, yeah. It's
I
fun.
didn't even know what you were
Up
talking
there,
about there
guy.
because I was trying to think of a kid born in 2018. And I
Yeah.
realized
They're
he could be
about
playing
6 years
hockey.
old.
Yeah.
6 years old.
it's crazy.
But
You see-
but they've been on skates for 4 years now. You know what I mean? Like
Shit.
But all I see right now is the kids in junior playing, and they're 2008.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
How?
Yeah.
How is it possible?
Yeah.
Like,
That feeling doesn't get
how
any better.
old am
Yeah,
I?
yeah.
How old am I?
Yeah, I think how
Old.
Patty feels. He
Yeah.
probably thought that about you guys when you came.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you guys
it's
are
just
like a week apart, eh? I think exact week.
When's your birthday? June 7th?
June 7th.
Yeah, June 15th.
Yeah.
There you
8
go.
days.
2000.
Oh yeah, both 2000.
So they're
Yeah.
so close. They share the same.
That's right.
There you
Both
go.
Geminis? Be Geminis?
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I think
Is it
so.
early June?
Yeah. That
Yeah,
is.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened in like the genetic pool. I'm November 2000, and you guys look a lot different than I do. I don't know. This is why you guys are playing hockey, and I'm not.
Born
I'm
too
doing
late in the year?
Huh?
You're born too late in the year.
No, I'm not. I'm actually the same as. Like I have my hockey year is the same as whatever
No,
Colton is, and Colton's the same
okay.
as him, is it?
Yeah.
Colton Ellis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's same as but no, wasn't he drafted late? He could be
Yeah,
drafted as a
He's
two.
October 2000.
His NHL draft is
Yeah, his NHL draft would have been
18.
year after.
Was a late.
If you're a late birthday, what's the rule? What?
It's a September 15th. Isn't
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you're born
It's
like if I was born September 17th,
You would've
2000, I would have been getting drafted with
Yeah,
the
after you're
2000.
18.
Yeah,
Oh, I see. Okay.
yeah, you have like an extra year kind of thing. That's kind of helps.
Oh
You
yeah,
took a year
because
off.
Ricky's November.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mil Ricard on the team. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter because you took a year off from your first draft eligibility. You got drafted
Igor
your
just had to
second year.
skip a couple
I
drafts,
had
but it
2
worked
years.
out all right.
2 years. I didn't
got-
get drafted 2 years in a row.
Oh my God, it's true.
Whoa,
2 years.
cool.
My third year availability, I got drafted.
That's nuts.
Second round.
2nd round too, which is rare sightning.
That is really crazy. I never thought about that.
Oh yeah, double overager. Usually you go like 4th or 5th round as a double overager. Like
So
people,
was it
people don't-
2020 or 19?
yeah, 2020. That was right after that
Whoa.
COVID year.
Holy
That was
frig.
True.
Yeah, right after that when we got shut down COVID, then draft didn't happen all the way until October.
Oh, so you were
We-
20 years old when you got drafted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Our season was over March. We were done.
Beginning March.
And all the way till October I didn't know where am I going to play hockey.
Holy frig.
Because I didn't want to come back play junior anymore. Like
Yeah.
there was no sense of doing that, and I didn't want to go back home, get stuck there with COVID and everything, and miss up something with draft. Like at that point, I wanted everything to be so perfect, so I don't have any chance, not getting drafted again. Because my agent told me that. There's 0.1% chance that you might not get drafted, and it just like still bugged me. I was like,
Yeah.
And
Well,
then-
it happened twice before. So
yeah, exactly. You're going into it and like, it's like, I've done everything that I had to do to get drafted.
Yeah.
What can be messed up? So that's why I didn't go home, so I don't get stuck there. People think, I didn't want to make people think that if I'm gonna go home, I'm just gonna stay and play there, right?
Right.
So I stayed here, trained here. Was so lucky enough that Cape Breton, like the Eagles, let me have the gym. So like this whole time for like 8 or 7 months, that's where like my body completely changed because I was able to work out every day here. Me and Cully had me out there on the rollerblades, on the fake ice on the rollerblades. I was doing drills with, I was making it work before because, the rinks opened Rinks opened up probably in July
I think so. Yeah.
or something. So like for that span of 3 months,
Yeah.
like there was nothing to do. Like you couldn't get on
incredible.
the ice. So I was out there with rollerblades. We had like chairs and stuff like that. Like I was dangling around chairs and stuff. Like it was funny.
And then every day at 8 p.m. we'd meet up on Fortnite.
Yeah,
Play
and at 8 p.m. we had our
8
video
p.m.
games.
What a
Yeah.
life.
8 p.m. to 9 to 10 to we would just be yelling at the screens.
That's a good story, though. I mean, that's a lot of, it's pretty inspirational, I guess. For
Oh yeah, that's when. So the draft was off, obviously not in person.
Right.
So that year, that was the first year where they were doing everything not in person. So the first round, when the first round was done, the next day, that's when I'm gonna get drafted. So we sit down, and it felt like we were in round 7, but it was like not even second round was not even over because it was taking so long.
Yeah.
Because they were doing it like online for first time, like where it's not in person, so it was like taking extra long. And I was sitting down, I was like, "Oh, I'm not getting drafted. It's done." And then I look up, it's second round, like 45th pick, and I felt like it was the draft was over. So I got drafted literally late second, but it took about 3 hours.
It was long.
It took about 3 hours for them to make 30 picks.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Who's Ottawa's ECHL team? Or do they have one?
They had one.
Did you go right to the A? Did you never play?
Yeah, no, I went straight to the A my first year. They had Allen Americans. I know that
Oh,
before.
yes.
There was some. I don't know who else. There was some. Wasn't it Texas team this year? Yeah, I couldn't tell you honestly. I don't know any teams down there. I just
Yeah.
tried
Is it not the
to.
one that Ty Fournier played?
Yeah,
this year?
Yeah, Allen Americans.
yeah, that was
There's-
Allen,
there's-
but
so
they
it's
switched it. They switched it this year. Every year, it's like different.
So Allen Americans aren't affiliated with Ottawa right now?
No, not anymore.
Maybe a bit of a far distance, I would think.
Where is Allen? What state is it?
It's
Tex-
in Texas.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
Allen was this year. I don't know.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, couldn't tell you.
I'm slipping.
Because Mendo went
Yeah.
Allen before. I know
Right,
that he
that's
wasn't
right.
Allen.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
I don't know what was this year. I don't remember.
So
And now you're in Utah.
Yep.
What was that? What was the trade day like?
Best week of my life, man, as of right now.
Because it was right after your wedding, wasn't
No,
it?
before I get traded Wednesday, got married Saturday, signed Sunday, on the plane on honeymoon Tuesday. Like,
No way.
oh yeah, unbelievable. Yeah.
Igor was just taking care of everything that he had to do in his life.
Yeah, yeah.
For real. No, for real.
Set
Like
yourself
it was
up.
like I wanted to. Obviously, I was just looking for a new opportunity somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to be done before the wedding because I knew it, but it was pretty stressful on both of us. Like we want to know where we're gonna be next year, right?
Mhm.
Like we don't want, you don't want to. I asked like to get traded. Like it was my decision, and I thought it was just need a fresh start somewhere else, and
Right.
he just took because they had Ottawa had a lot of business to do, right? They had to re-sign a bunch of guys, they had to make trades, and so
Right.
in my head, I was talking to my agent. He was saying like, "Buddy, just stay patient. It's gonna happen. Like they have to, they have bigger things on the plate. Like
Yeah.
they had to re-sign Pinto, like do
Right.
big contracts, And I'm not a full-time NHL player. Like I'll be the last guy to deal with. So
Right.
and
Even Mando as well, too.
yeah, exactly. Mando went even got traded after me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just want to be done before wedding, please. Like, I just want to be done before wedding. And sure, now, like, Wednesday, I just had, like, that gut feeling, like, something's going to happen today. I don't know what it is.
Wow.
My mom and dad were there too with me. So I was just, like, after training, chilling, and I get a call from assistant GM from Ottawa, like, we moved you. And it's just, like, a huge rock just came off and
Yeah.
made wedding even more enjoyable. Just not to stress
Yeah,
about.
you're not thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
cool.
There was nothing to think about, just the contract, but we got it done pretty
Yeah.
quick. And
Didn't
Yeah.
didn't have time to invite all his Utah teammates.
yeah. Yeah.
New beginning for Igor, but an end of the road perhaps for you, Kyle. So year 4 at Concordia. Is this the final year? Is it year
It
5?
will
What do you
be.
think
It
comes
will
next?
be. I'll be done school this year, and ever since I started, thanks to Bubs, I was able to kind of plan out my education.
Nice.
As me, I had a different path than Igor. You know, like I knew I was going to school after my junior career, so I kind of planned out all of my education during junior so that everything would be lined up. Starting in 2021 fall. That's when I went to Concordia. Now it's all set up this year where I finish in the winter semester. I got 3 electives online, and then my plan is to sign a pro contract just to finish up the season. So last year, a guy on McGill, Walford, he signed a PTO. He went to go play in the A a few games. So that's a possibility, or go to the East Coast, hopefully. And then I'm still waiting on my German passport, and then I'll probably head over there after the season. And whether it's 1, 2, 3, 10 years, who's to know?
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your degree?
Marketing.
Nice.
Marketing.
Right on.
Will I use this degree? I'll see.
Right
I don't
on.
know.
He's got a plan.
Yeah.
Just to wrap up here, guys, coming back here and looking back in your time here, what are some of the memories that'll last with you from your time in Cape Breton?
Honestly, everything. Like, I would say the first 2 years were tougher than the last year. Like, like, there is nothing I don't know how to explain it. Like, that year was just like, if we had a Amazon Prime show and somebody had us like, just like come in here every day and just like film us, and like us on the bench, us in like dressing room and stuff, like I think we would have broken all the records. Like just the way our team was, man. Like it was just like every single game, every day. Like I can talk about it like forever. Like, you know what I mean? And like that's what I said. Like he said, like me, like in Cork, like we don't talk often, but like I saw him for the first time in like last 2.5 years, I think. And I swear to God, like we laughed for like 10 hours straight yesterday. Like we were just like, our table was just like, what the hell is these guys doing? Everybody's we were just like laughing at some dumb things, but like I feel like me and Cork literally like hang out every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just saw the guy last week, but I haven't seen the guy in 2.5 years, and like nothing changed.
Yeah.
We were super close, and we stayed super close. Even
It's
though
such a unique situation to be teenage boys all in the same place at the same time. Your whole life should be the exact same. Like it's very unique.
exactly, and then like, you know what? It's yeah. Like sometimes when you go and you see some boys that you played with, and you just like you know what I mean? Like it's not clicking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like anyone from that year, I'll see right now, I could have a sit down and talk for him for 10 hours, no problem.
Right.
So I think just that whole year in general, just going from just like everything brand new. So the new organization, new coach and stuff and everything, just like that year just made everything so special. Like everything so much more special. My time in Cape Breton, like, we just still sad to this day about not finishing business, but it is what it is. What can we do?
I guess I couldn't agree more with Iggy. Like that last year, we were having so much fun as a group, and it just showed up on the ice as well. We were having success, and I mean, it's no secret when you're having success, you're gonna have a better time. And I think because of that last year, we grew so much as a team. We got to know these people on a personal basis. Like I said before, we Gentile's house. We had Mitchell would have been gone by then, but long story short, we had someone from here as well, and he brought in all of his friends. Got to know them.
Yesterday at the wedding, bunch of those guys that we hanged out with, they're all at the wedding.
Yeah.
And like we didn't have to be like, oh, nice to meet you. We knew the boys. Like we hanged out with them pretty much all the time. That's all Derek's boys.
Right.
And we always hanged out with them. Like so, and I spent a lot of time here like after the seasons, like in the summers, and like once I'm here in the summer, where am I going? Jensen's house for a party. Let's go. And all these dudes are there. So that was Jens was the guy. I was like, okay, but so what are we doing today? And he's like, I'll take care of it. I'll just let you know where to meet me. So like, I thought it was just, like Kyle and me said, it's crazy. I'm sad. Like I'm still to the day, like I'm looking back at it and I'm like, it just hurts. You know what I mean? Because like, you don't get that often. You know what I mean? You don't get that team often. to win something, especially in junior career, so short. Like, you don't get that.
And to have 2 rough years beforehand too.
Exactly.
Like, to get to build up to.
Yeah, like we had all these guys like Kyle, me, Lafreniere, Francis, McCormick. Like all of us, we were playing. Like they played even longer than me, but we were all so like Cork, and they had their 16 years here too, right? So it's been building for them already for free before me. I had 2 years building it up to it, and they had. So like I felt like that's how it was. Like we brought in a couple pieces, but like the core, like stayed the same from my years here. Like every year we didn't lose too many guys. Like just to overagers were moving on, but I feel like that's why we were like so dominant because we were old too. Like we had so many 19-year-olds on that team. Like it was not even how many, Patty? We only had 2. We had what
5-19 defense.
Yeah, it's like that's right.
And we
shared.
Yeah. Like we had Tranny and Langoa coming in and making a team. Langoa, first round pick. Kid doesn't have a spot to play on this team. You know what I mean? He's not gonna get developed here with us because like we're just going out there bullying teams. You know what I mean? And he's just like watching from the bench and learning. But like you know what I mean? That's how we were just so old. Like we didn't. We were just going out there and you realize and looking back at it, like we all just played together for 3 years pretty much, and then that's how we just became so good because like no main pieces got traded. We brought a few pieces at that deadline. We got Element and Bouchard, but like the main core kind of we only lost out of that main core when I came. It was like Brooke, Kalmikov, and that's it. Pretty much, like I think, right? Like
and Leon.
Well, yeah, Leon because he was European, but yeah, if like I was talking to him. Imagine Leon would have came back as a 20-year-old because there was a moments where he was almost gonna do it. Like if we had Javanke as our, another 20-year-old on our team, like that guy was so dominant. Like if we were looking back at it, like our deep pairing would have been insane. Yeah. So.
Well, at least like you had that. At least you knew that you were able to play the whole season as that good team. Like,
exactly.
It wasn't like you were cut off in October and it was like what could have been. It was like at least you kind of knew.
Oh, yeah. Well, we knew we were good. You know what I mean? That kind of in the sense where it's like, I wish it would have happened in October so we didn't know we were that good. You know what I mean? But also we built so many memories that year.
Yeah, that's kind of. And that's from talking to guys like you guys. That's kind of the big thing, right? That's what people say about junior hockey is that it's. Like there's some guys that go to the NHL, some guys that don't play any further than junior, but it's really about just the memories and the fun you had when you were here.
Exactly.
Because you're just, like I said, you're a teenager. So
especially here, you learn a lot from like the community here, and family is a big thing here. You know what I mean? And it's like I've learned a lot of things here when it comes to just cultural things. And thanks to Bubba and Jen as well. We went through a lot. We enjoyed our time, and I think my time here was that much more fun because of them as well. Yeah. And we met a bunch of people on the way as well that we still keep in contact that are still here. You know what I mean?
So many. Yeah.
Holy freak, Bubba gets put over a lot on this podcast, man.
Yeah. The best.
Well, thanks very much for stopping in, guys. I know you guys are heading back home tonight, eh?
Yeah.
So we appreciate you taking about an hour and chatting. We're
thanks for having us.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Thanks for asking us to be here. We're I always like to talk. I can't stop talking anymore. So
that's good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.